Okay, let's maybe actually take care of this gas cap while we're at it. So let's grab all the pieces of the truck here, and we'll just deselect the tank and then hide select it. Okay, we'll see if we can see this in the left view here. Okay, so we'll just start this out of a cylinder, and let's do that in the top view. Let's drag one out here above the hole, and we'll figure out the size in a second. Okay, let's also move it up here into position, and we'll just figure out the width we need. And it's a little hard to see on these blueprints because it has so many edges. It's pretty much just blacked out. So let's maybe get rid of these height segments. So let's right click that spinner there, and we'll figure out the width of this thing. Let's take it down maybe a little bit. We have some kind of grip extruded out of the side here, so we don't want to make it too big. Let's do maybe 26 to start with. Okay, and let's maybe take the height up a little bit here. Let's do about 20. We don't need any height segments. Let's maybe do 2 cap segments, and we'll also increase the sides here a little bit more. Let's do maybe 24. Alright, we'll throw a blue shader on that. And I think that should be good for starters here. Okay, so let's just grab 2 pieces of the tank there. I'm just going to hide everything else. We don't really need the blueprints here. Okay, so we'll start modeling this out here. Alright, just make sure you have it lined up in the top view here with these edges. This one in the center of the tank as well as the one going side to side. Okay, let's also move it up a bit now. Let's set it on top like that. Alright, so let's convert this into a poly. And the first thing I'll do is go into polygon here. I'm going to turn on by angle and set it to 45 degrees, and we'll just grab the bottom polygons there. Okay, and we'll delete those out. And let's maybe extrude out the grip part. Alright, so go to the top view here. And let's see, let's maybe grab these polygons here. Whoops, turn off by angle. Grab these polygons here. And I think we'll just go along and select every pair on the side here, and we'll skip one between them. Okay, so I'm just going to pretty much go around like this. Right, and we'll deselect these 2 top ones here. Alright, so just make sure you have pairs of them selected with one in between. That's deselected. And let's maybe just extrude this out. Okay, so open up extrude there. Do it by group. And we'll take the height down quite a bit here. Let's maybe do maybe 3. And okay. Alright, we'll also want to taper these in a little bit more, so let's maybe do an outline on these pulleys. Okay, and let's take it down a little bit more here. Let's do maybe -2 on this one. Okay. Alright, I think we want them to be a little bit higher, so I'm just going to scale these up a little bit here, so it's not so tapered in on the tops. Alright, so let's just scale this on the Y axis, just up a bit. Let's do maybe something like that, and that's 115 on the Y axis, as you can see there at the bottom down here. Okay, I think that should be fine for the grip. Alright, let's maybe grab the center edge here, loop. So grab an edge there, do a loop on it, and let's just maybe scale that out a bit more. Maybe about 175 or so. Okay, and then we'll go into polygon again, and let's go into the top view. Just going to switch my selection type from rectangle to paint, and we'll just grab these center polygons. And let's maybe just extrude these up a bit. Bring it up maybe a little bit more. We don't need it to be too high. Let's do 4.5 here. Okay, we'll also inset this one more time here. And first, let's take it up a little bit more. Let's do about maybe 2.5 on that as well. And Okay, and then we'll just punch this top right in. So I'm going to do another extrude, and we'll do it a negative amount. And let's see, let's also do that one, negative 2.5 maybe. Okay. And let's maybe get a little bit more detail here. So let's maybe do an outline on that, just to taper the inside in, and we'll take this down a little bit more. Let's do negative 3. Okay, and we'll punch it in maybe one more time here, so let's do another extrude. And we'll just do maybe a little bit less. Let's take that up. Just a little bit. Let's do negative 1.5. Alright, these values you don't have to follow if you want to change it up a bit. But I think that should be pretty good for our cap here, so let's get out of polygon. Just going to hit Alt Q here to go in isolation mode. And we'll just add some support to this because we're going to need to turbo smooth it. Okay, so let's go into edge. And actually, first let's go into polygon here, and those center polygons should still be selected. So we'll just do another inset on that, and that'll give us a support edge around the inside. Right, so do it pretty small. 0.3, 0.4, something like that should be good. And then we'll just go back to edge here and add the rest of our loops. Okay, so do a ring here, do a connect, and let's do 2 segments. And we'll pinch those up a bit. Let's do about 50 or so on that. And we'll just work around. Okay, so another ring there. Take these ones up a little bit more. 80 should be good on that. And just keep working over the top. Take that down a little bit more. Maybe about 70. Let's bring this guy in a little bit more. We don't want it to be too sharp. Maybe around 60 on that one. Yeah, let's do 65. Okay, and we'll add some around these in a minute. Let's do the side ones first. So a ring here, another connect, and we'll take this up a bit. Let's do about 85 on those guys. And okay, and then we'll grab an edge here on each of these extrusions all the way around. Okay, and then do a ring on those. And we'll connect this up with 2 segments. And to make it a little bit softer looking, I'm actually just going to take off the pinch, so we have 2 segments right in the center. We'll hit OK to that. And for the bottom here, let's go to border, grab that bottom border. And in the top view, we'll go to scale, and we'll hold down shift, and we'll just scale this in on the triangle here, just a little bit to get a support edge. And then we'll shift drag it, or shift scale it in one more time. And something like that should be good. Okay, let's put a turbo smooth on, 2 iterations, and isoline, and we'll see how this looks. Okay, I think that should be good. Let's get out of isolation mode, and we'll just make sure that we have no gaps underneath. Alright. And let's maybe push this down just a little bit more. Okay, so I think that should be good for the gas cap. Okay, let's maybe unhide everything here. And we'll add the rest of the gas tank pieces later on. I think the next thing we'll do is take care of this piece here on the blueprint, this smokestack. Alright, so let's grab maybe all the pieces of the truck here. We'll just hide these for now. Okay, and this is probably the most difficult piece on the entire model to build without getting any artifacting. And it's also going to be super high poly here. We're looking at probably a couple 100,000 just for this one pipe alone. Okay, but we're going to need to have it smoothed out with turbo smooth if you want to have a good result at the end. So let's maybe go into the top view. I'm just going to drag out a cylinder here. Okay, so zoom in on the pipe there. grab a cylinder, and let's draw this out. We'll give it a little bit of height for now. And we're going to do this kind of like a modular piece that we can kind of fit together to build up the detail. So let's maybe go into the left view, move this up, and we'll just fit this on top of the pipe here. Okay, so we'll just line up the center edge as best we can. Let's check our material on that. Okay, we can get rid of these height segments for now. And we'll just move this down so it's lined up with the bottom edge. And it looks about 60 or so should be the right amount for the radius. We don't need the height to be this high. Let's bring that down a bit. Okay, we'll do this in one section at a time here. Alright, so we'll line the top up with that edge. And we're also going to need a lot of segments on the sides here to kind of maintain the curve. So we're going to take this way up. Let's try maybe 60. Okay, and it looks like that's what I started with the first time. So we'll go 60 on the sides, 60 on the radius, and let's do 40 on the height. And we'll also add maybe one height segment here, just in the center. Okay, I'm just going to take that up a little bit more. Let's do about 41. Okay, we'll convert it to double pulley. And the first thing I'm going to do here is just get rid of the top and bottom caps of the cylinder. Alright, so we'll grab all the side edges here. Okay, we'll hit Control I to invert the selection. So we have the top and bottom caps selected, and we'll delete those out. Okay, and let's turn off polygon for a second. I'm just going to move this up to the next level here so we can line it up with this circle. Alright, so let's grab another circle shape here. We'll draw that out in the center. And we just want to get an idea of the size here, so let's do about 15 or so on the radius. Okay, we'll just line it up with this center edge. Okay, and now we have that figured out, we'll just control click the cylinder there and we'll hide everything else. Okay, let's reselect our spline. And we're going to need to kind of cut the shape of this into the cylinder the same way as we did earlier, but we're going to need to add some more sections on the spline here. 8 won't work for this. Okay, so I'm going to take the steps down. Okay, we're going to have to take it up a little higher. Let's do maybe 3 on the steps here. And that'll give us a 16-sided circle, which should work here. Alright, so we'll reselect our cylinder piece. Let's go into polygon. I'm just going to grab the 4 center pulleys there, and we're just going to figure out how many of these we need. We need to have 6 holes around it. Alright, we have 60 sides on the cylinder, so we're just going to select a selection of 10 polygons here, 10 wide. Okay, so like that. Okay, so just make sure you have 10 across. And with those selected, I'm going to do Control I again and delete. Okay, and we'll also get rid of the back ones here we don't need. So let's grab those ones on the top view and delete them out. Okay, now leave us one little piece here to work with. Okay, so let's start cutting in the detail. And we'll just do that with the cut tool again. Okay, we'll turn on our vertex snaps, and we'll just do the exact same process here as we did earlier. Just trace around that circle, clicking on each vert. Okay, just like that. Draw the cut tool, draw snaps as well, and grab that circle shape in there, and we'll delete that out. We don't need it anymore. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is reselect the cylinder, and it's also going to need a lot of work here. None of these edges are matching up with the corners, so we're going to have to kind of fix that, and we'll do that with the cut tool. Okay, now I don't want to weld the vert here for this edge over to this point because it's going to bend that edge, and we need to maintain a straight edge here to keep the cylinder shape. Okay, so what we'll do is actually cut from each of these verts up to the top. Okay, so just cut that vert up to the top. We'll do that for each of these and try to get the edge straight if you can. Okay, like that. And we'll do the same thing down here. And you can do this in vertex if you want to be able to see the verts. Okay, so just like that. And we'll also cut these ones here straight over to the right side. Okay, and we'll drop it back down to edge here. I'm just going to take out the original edge that we had there for the cylinder. Okay, so we'll grab this one, select it all the way down, control backspace it out, and the same with this one here. Control backspace that one. We'll also go to polygon here and just delete the left half of the shape. We only need to work on one side. We can also get rid of these two polygons. And we don't want to leave these extremely long polygons here. We want to kind of even this out. So let's maybe do a ring on this edge here and connect. Okay, we'll slide that down maybe a little bit towards the bottom, around 10 or so on the slide. And okay, we'll do the same thing down here. Ring that and connect it. Let's take this one down to -10. And okay. And then we'll just select these edges here and these three down here, and we'll control backspace them out. Okay, now let's connect these two verts together. So grab those into a connect, these two in a connect. Okay, and then we'll go into edge here, and let's see if we can get rid of these ones. Okay, so control backspace on those. Okay. And back in the left view here, I'm just going to mirror this over as a copy on the X. Right, let's attach together for now. And we'll just weld up the center verts here. So do weld nose. Okay, and let's also grab the inner border here, and we'll just shift drag this in to create a support edge. And we're going to do that pretty tight. Okay. And the next thing we'll do here is maybe shift drag this, copy this up on the Y. Okay, and line it up with the top edge there. Let's do it as an instance actually. Okay. All right, just make sure these edges are lined up. Okay, we need to have offset holes here as we go up the pipe, so we want this hole to be over here. Okay, so we're going to need to rotate it 30 degrees to the right here. And when we do this, you'll notice that the edges don't line up with all of our segments on the original piece. Okay, so you want to rotate like that, and you can see that these edges no longer line up. Okay, so we're going to need to do some more work here, so this will be a tileable piece. Okay, so let's grab the original, and let's go to vertex. I'm going to go down and turn on edge constraint. And we're just going to move these verts around slightly here. Alright, so let's grab this one. Move this over just a bit so it lines up with this one. Grab this guy, move him over a bit so it lines up with that one. And for these ones here, I'm not going to move the vert here. I'm actually going to move the vert down here. All right, we move that to the left. You can see the top edge there moving over right here because it's an instance. So we'll move that over like that. Let's maybe grab this one here, and I'll move it over just slightly. Okay, we just want to make sure that all these verts are matching up with an edge. And actually, let me undo that for a second. Let's do Control Z and Control Z until we have those edges straightened out. Let's actually grab both these verts here, one on each side of the center mark, and let's use scale to move those out so that it'll be even on this side of the circle. Okay, so we'll scale it over looking at the top there until we line up the edges right here. Grab this one, and we'll slightly scale those as well on the X until it lines up in the top there. Okay, just like that. Right. Turn off vertex, grab polygon, grab the left side here, and delete it. Okay, and then select the copy up top there, and delete that as well. Grab our original piece here, do another mirror as a copy, and OK. And then we'll attach those two together. Select the center verts there, and do a weld on them. Okay, so now what we'll do is maybe go into the top view here. Okay, and with our piece selected, we're going to go up to Tools, down to Array. Going to activate Rotate by clicking this arrow right here, and we'll put 360 degrees on the Z. We'll choose Copy this time, and we want to have 6 of these. Alright, so take the count down to 6 and hit OK. Alright, that'll clone our pieces around into a cylinder. Okay, and that looks like it lined up properly, so let's go to Attach, and we'll just attach all 6 of these pieces together. Turn off the Attach button, grab Vertex, do Control A to select all the verts, and we just want to weld up the center seams between these, so open up the weld box there, and 0.1 should be enough to weld them all up. So we'll hit OK to that, and we'll just check to make sure. So just grab one of those center verts and move it around. Okay, and it looks like it's welded. Okay, so now what we'll do is go back into the left view again, and we'll just zoom in a bit here. I'm just going to hold down Shift and drag a copy of this up on the Y, and we'll line up the top edge with the bottom edge of the new piece, so they're right on top of each other. Choose Copy this time, and we'll just do 1 and OK, and then we'll go to Rotate, and we're just going to rotate this the 30 degrees we need again. Okay, like that. Let go. That'll give us our staggered hole pattern. And now we can actually attach these two together. Go back to Vertex, and we'll just grab the verts right along the edge here and weld them up. And let's make sure that those all weld. Just up the weld threshold a little bit more here until you see them all snap together. Okay, you should have 60 verts when you're done. Okay, now we'll make the rest of our copies. So let's just shift drag this piece up one more time and line up the edges the same way, right on top of each other. Choose Copy. We want to do 5 of these, and OK. And that'll give us the full height of our pipe. Okay, so what we'll do here is just go back to Attach with the first piece selected, and just attach all the copies together. Okay, then we'll go back into Vertex, and we'll just weld these up. Alright, let's just do Control A, and we'll just zoom in here somewhere and see if we can just weld this in one shot. Okay, and just make sure you don't have the weld threshold so high that these little support edges here are snapping together. So you don't want to go way up like that, else you're going to lose the support edge. Alright, so just bring it down. Around 0.3 or something should be good, and OK. And we can just throw a turbo smooth on here to see if that's actually welded. Okay, so if you don't see any black lines or any gaps in here, then it should be welded up properly. Okay, we look pretty good, so I'm going to delete that turbo smooth. And let's go to border here, grab the top border as well as the bottom border. And in the top view, we're going to go to Scale. Let's turn off our edge constraint. And we'll just hold down Shift and scale this in again on the triangle. Okay, we'll bring it in a little bit there to get a support edge. And then we'll let go and we'll hold Shift again and scale it right in. Okay, that'll cap off the top for us. And we also obviously need to have some polygons on the inside here, or else when you render you're going to see right through those holes. Okay, so what we'll do here is maybe add a shell. Okay, so throw a shell on there. And also make sure you save because you might have a crash. This is pretty high res. Okay, let's take off the outer mount, and we'll take up the inner mount here. Let's do maybe 2.5. Okay, and we also want to have some support edges on the inside of these holes here, so we're just going to take up the segments to 2. Right, that'll add a couple edges there, which will help sharpen the circles up. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Go back into the front view here and just check and see if everything looks okay. Alright, let's maybe put a turbo smooth on now. And let's hit ice line display. And we'll do 2 iterations here. Okay, we just want to make sure that nothing looks weird. Okay, if you want to check it out, you can also add a little bit of a specular level to the material, so you can see some highlights on there. Okay, I think we're pretty good. Okay, so let's turn off the iterations in the viewport here. Just going to take those off, and we'll put them on at render time with 2, so we don't have to have the lag in the viewport here. Okay, so that'll take care of our pipe, and let's just maybe unhide all again. And we'll just figure out if this is in the right position. Okay, so we need to move it down here in the left view. Alright, so pull that down and line it up at the bottom edge there on the blueprint. And we'll just check to see if the height's right. And that looks pretty good right there, I think. Yeah. Okay, and in the top view, we'll just leave it where it is. Okay, we have some more pieces. We have another piece that goes inside this, as well as obviously the pipes coming out of the top and bottom, which we'll do a little bit later.